What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Good morning, good morning. It's a overcast day here in Charlotte, which I absolutely love because, as you guys know, cloudy skies are the best skies for photos. Man, and this thing is screaming today. What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. I hope all of you are having a wonderful weekend. Well, this is probably not dropping on a weekend, but I hope your last weekend was fantastic. I'm heading to Starbucks to, of course, do the daily grind, pick up the Starbucks, and then we're gonna do a quick car wash. And then I wanna talk to you guys about the 5 things that I absolutely love on my F30 BMW. Yo, see that M4 convertible though? The M4 verts, they look real good. I'm not a convertible guy at all, but the M4 convertible, they look pretty sick. I mean, bruh. That thing looks pretty nasty, man. That thing looks pretty nasty. Let's check out this M4 vert from the front. That vert. Dude, they look dope, man. They look pretty dope. All right, coffee acquired. Let's hit that wash bay. Not a soul here, which is exactly how I like it. Just gonna do a quick little spray off. This thing looks so crazy when it's cloud cover. Super maroon and burgundy. Be gone, water. Be gone. And we're dry. Damn. Hey, you from around here? Looking like an absolute snack. I know you guys do this. You're lying if you say you don't. Back at it again. All right, you guys, so today's video, we got the 5 things that I absolutely love about my F30. We're gonna waste zero time and jump right into it. Number 1, I absolutely love the way that this car looks. Just the general aesthetics of the vehicle, the F chassis, the F30 in particular, in my opinion, has some of the best body lines. Obviously the F80 is a little bit more aggressive with the thicker, wider stance, but for the F30 being just a simple 3 Series sedan, the body lines are incredible on this car. I absolutely love it. And I feel like the more that you modify it, just like simple things make the car look so much better and really accentuates all of the body lines. So just a quick walk around the car. I just feel like BMW absolutely killed it with the way that they designed this vehicle. Front to back. There's really nothing that I don't like about the way that this car looks. It's so aggressive. When you get the M Sport kit, it adds just that little bit of flair that it needs. This car was obviously a sport line when I first bought it, but now that I have the E90 and I'm kind of getting used to some of the more round features on that platform, it really helps me appreciate some of the more squared off features, a little more modern features on the F30. And that's kind of why I'm talking about the overall look of the F-Series chassis, I just feel like it's such a well-designed vehicle. They did such a good job with this car. I also think that that's why some people are having such a hard time receiving the new G-Series, because it's way different. And they really just did such a killer job on the F30, the F chassis in general, that it's like, how are you going to top that? And I think that their focus was kind of the grills, and the grills that they chose were, in my opinion, not the way to go. But yeah, I absolutely love the body lines on this car. I think it just looks so, so good. The perfect amount of modern, not too outdated, not too new. It's like right where it needs to be. And when you do some simple modifications like lowering, M Sport kit, a little bit of carbon, it just makes the car look absolutely killer. Number 2, the lighting. The lighting on this car, interior, exterior. I've done a little bit of adding to the lighting in this car, but even from factory, if you have the lighting package, the xenons, which I highly recommend if you're going to buy this car, try and spring for one that has the lighting package, because it makes such a big difference in the way that this car looks. So on this car, I have the factory xenon headlights with the lighting package, and it looks so good. The only thing that you need to pay attention to is if you have an older model, a pre-LCI, the interior is not going to have some of those ambient lighting features that I've added after the fact. And we'll jump inside and I'll show you some of those, but first I want to show you some of the exterior stuff. So as you can see, we have the factory angel eyes, and then if we turn on the xenons, oh man, they look so good. So these are the 6000K xenon bulbs that I upgraded to. If you guys saw that video or not, they make a big difference. Really, really big difference on the way that the car looks and the overall visibility at night. They're much brighter, and I wanted something that was going to pierce through the headlight tint a little better, so these definitely did the job. But the xenons are the way to go. If you're one of those people that ended up with halogens, your best bet is to upgrade to the depot headlights, but you're just never going to get that real true xenon clarity. In addition to the bulbs in the headlights, I also upgraded the bulbs in the fog lights, and these are upgraded LED lights. They look much brighter, much more white. These stock ones are rather yellow. They're just halogens, so they don't look that good. Upgrading to the LEDs makes a big, big difference. Furthermore, I upgraded the turn signals to LED amber turn signals, which I think make a big difference in person. It's a much deeper yellow or orange. Now they also make these in white, and I did rock those for a while, but I like the yellow because it's just a little more OE looking. The white ones just look a little too cheap in my opinion. In addition to the yellow turn signals, I also did the smoked sequential mirror blinkers. I think that these look a lot better than the stock ones. The stock ones are basically just clear with a blinking bulb in it. These have actual sequential LEDs, and they're smoked out, so it just looks much better with the black features that I have going on this car. And then of course, you all know that you have to go for the LCI tails. The LCI tails are just so sexy. So in addition to the LCI tails, I also upgraded to the dynamic blinker harness. So I added a harness into these taillights to kind of give it that sequential feel. It's really just a delay, but it is something different and it is an option. I also made a video on that. Pretty much everything that we're talking about in this video, you guys, I've made a video on. And I also did the LED reverse lights on this car. So if we jump inside, you guys are gonna see that I have the illuminated accessory panel up here. And this looks way better for a few reasons. One, it illuminates, which just looks really dope at night. And two, it's gloss black. So this car came with gloss black trim everywhere, and I wanted to match that. The factory one is just matte black, just a flat black finish, and it just looks a lot cheaper, and it doesn't obviously light up. So I did a full video on that as well, how to install it, and this thing, man, it looks so good. The LCI models have this stock, so that's kind of why I threw it in here. Really enhances the experience when you're driving at night in this car. I also made a video on LED strips. So there's these plastic little LED strips that go into your door sills, and they make a really big difference at night. You can't see them much during the day because really all it is a plastic strip that enhances the LEDs in your door trim. This is also a feature that the LCI models had, and it looks really, really nice at night. I'll try to find a couple of shots for you guys and throw them in right here, but it honestly, for how cheap it is and how easy it is to install, it makes a huge difference. Number 3. So number 3, I want to talk about the comfort of driving this car. And the reason that I want to talk about it is because now that I own the E90 M3 and I also have the F30, I've found that the comfort of this car is incredible. Driving the E90 M3 and then hopping back into the F30 has really made me appreciate how comfortable and easy this car is to drive. I think that overall it just makes the car very versatile. So you can switch up from a real sporty car to a very comfortable kind of granny daily driving car, which is, look, when I'm going to get groceries, I don't need to be hot-boying around. I just want a comfortable car that's going to get me from point A to point B. And this, honestly, this car is super, super comfortable. All of the electronic features, the adaptive sport suspension, so you can switch over from comfort to sport. I think it might be something that not a lot of people are talking about because they don't have many other cars to compare it to. But as soon as I started driving the M3 more, I noticed that this car was super comfortable to drive in. And for me personally, I don't always want to be sporting around in this car. Sometimes I just want a luxurious and comfortable car to drive around. Number 4, the way it sounds. I love the way that this car sounds. For a 4-banger, this little 328 N20 4-banger turbocharged engine actually sounds really good. So mine in particular, I have all full bolt-ons done to it, as well as AWE tuning exhaust, the downpipe, and boot mode. And all of these mods are a collaborative effort to the way that this car sounds right now. That's probably one of the biggest things that people comment on when I'm driving. Dude, the car sounds so good. And honestly, I didn't really have a goal of making the car sound a certain way. I just put the modifications that I wanted to put on it, and it ended up sounding that good. But I think a lot of it has to do with obviously the mods that I picked. The AWE tuning exhaust with the Evolution Raceworks downpipe, catted downpipe, and then the boot mode tuning platform just really brought the way that this car sounds to life. There's also a lot of turbo noise in this car, a lot of spooling and a lot of whistling and diverter valve action, and that's also due to the intake and the charge pipe and the front mount and the diverter valve. Really everything that I've done to the engine has kind of brought this car to make it sound the way that it sounds. But in all honesty, for a little 4-banger, this car sounds really, really good. Number 5, the gas mileage. The gas mileage that you get on this car is really, really good. And people think that as soon as you start modding a car, you lose all of this gas mileage. The fuel efficiency goes to crap, and that is not the case in this car at all. City driving, this car is rated at somewhere between 22, 24 miles per gallon, and on the freeway it's like 31 to 34, somewhere in that range. But this car, with all of the mods that I've done to it, it really hasn't changed the gas mileage at all. It still gets really, really good gas mileage. So this car, being my daily driver, has turned out perfectly because it's not only fuel efficient, but it's fun to drive, it still has a sporty side to it, and it's also comfortable. Now the E90, it's a V8, and we know that that thing drinks. It is expensive to drive, so it's really, really nice having the option of the F30 that's not always taking the money out of my pockets. But wait, there's a 6. All right, so number 6 is something that I thought about last night. The overall capability of modifying this car is actually really incredible. And the reason being is because this platform has become so popular. These cars have really become more and more affordable over time that everybody is making parts for them, which is actually really fun for people like us who want to modify these cars because we have so many options when it comes to parts. People are inventing new parts, like styling modifications, and just kind of creating their own line of products over time, which I think is so cool. And it really helps us as people who are trying to build on these cars make our cars more original and individualized. There are always more and more creative ways to make these cars look good, which really, really excites me every time that I get into modifying a car. And luckily for me, when I started modifying this car, there were already a lot of parts available, but I started seeing more and more as I jumped into the meat and potatoes of this car. People were coming out with more and more parts, which is so cool because there's a lot of cars out there that don't have the amount of options that we have when it comes to modifying these. So really what it comes down to is the overall popularity of the car. As the F30 has grown to be such a popular car amongst brands and consumers, it's really turned into the modifiers platform with BMW. And it's also a platform that's really easy to modify. These cars are not difficult to modify at all. There's so many resources out there for us. BMW forums, obviously Instagram. We can DM people that have builds that we are inspired by. It's just something that I don't think a lot of people talk about. We are really, really lucky to have the amount of modifications available as we do with this platform. And from what I can tell, that's not gonna stop. Like, these cars are just getting more and more popular. So I'm really thinking that we're gonna see more and more parts over time come out for these cars that are even more different than the ones that we have out now, which is cool because we're gonna start seeing different builds. People are gonna start doing different modifications and really unique setups to their F30s. All right, you guys, so those are my 5 turned into 6 favorite things about the F30. Obviously, there are a lot of them. Like, I have even more than 6. There are a ton of things that we could talk about with this car. A lot of the things I've learned over time from owning this car for 5 years, this car has just really turned into something that I just love. I just love working on this car. I love building it. I love talking to people about the car. I love teaching other people and learning. I love learning about the actual car. So that is why I wanted to make this video, you guys. I had a lot of people reaching out to me asking me what are my favorite things about this car, what are the things I don't like about this car. So as you can guess, I'm definitely gonna be making a video talking about the things I do not like about this car. But right now, the focus was the things that I love about this car. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new here, my name is John. I do all BMW, E90, new to the platform, and F30 content. If you enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing. Make sure you comment down below, like this video, hit that bell notification, and make sure you guys are commenting down below what your favorite parts are about your F30. I'm actually really curious to hear your insight on this whole thing. Anyways, guys, hit the bell notification. Just like that, this video is over, and I'm out. Peace.